Before blades, before sparks, before the first flake struck from a river stone, a band of Australopithecus moves under a sky, the color of bone. If stone never became edge, how do hands alone rewrite fate? What muscles, teeth, and minds must compensate when the world offers no sharpened mercy? They are already in motion when we arrive together, hips swaying to save energy, infants riding high on backs, elders scanning horizons for lion shapes that are not there yet. Morning breathes cool from the rift, carrying the sweet rot of figs and the iron smell of mud. Without stone, they carry no knives, no scrapers, no hammers, only memory and improvisation. A juvenile palms a thorn branch stripped by teeth. Another tucks broad leaves into a plaited sling of bark to make a soft vessel for water. They move toward a termite mound pocked like a lunar map. At the mound, the band fans out. Fingers probe sticks, pry. Without a pointed flake, they cannot split the clay quickly, so patience becomes technology. One kneels, smears saliva, softens crust, and uses a peeled twig like a slow drill. When soldier termites burst forth, they are pinched and eaten with delight. Protein here is small but sure, and in a world without stone edges, certainty is a currency richer than speed. A sudden gust ripples the grass. Baboons crest a low ridge, not kin and not friends, their shoulders thick with confidence. The matriarch raises her arm, not as a command, but a tide. Bodies tighten. Infants slide to bellies. A dozen pebbleless hands scoop dust and dried dung. When the baboons rush, the band erupts in a storm of thrown earth shrieks and branch swats. Not a single cut is dealt yet. The display is thunderous, a choreography of noise and posture that buys distance instead of blood. The rival troop peels away grumbling. Energy saved is energy banked. Midday heat hardens. Under a thorn acacia, a young male worries a tuber from the soil with his heel and a forked root. No stone to dig, so they use leverage, hands, sticks, and time. The tuber is bitter. The matriarch chews and spits, tastes again, nods. She smears ash from last night's lightning burn across a child's rubbed blister carbon as balm plant resin as bandage. Healing here is as much theater as chemistry, but theater calms fear and steadies hands. Beyond the acacia, a river coils green and deceitful. Crocodiles wait, where water flickers wrong. The band gathers leaves into cupfuls, ferrying sips back and forth, rather than kneeling at the edge. Over hours, thirst bends to method. Each trip is a vote for survival in absence of haste. The sky dims not with evening, but with weather. A wall of dark climbs the horizon, a storm brewing inland and running hard. On the wind carrion, vultures hang like thoughts. The storm arrives before the carcass. Wind flattens the grasses, bending stalks, until the savanna ripples like a dark sea. Australopithecus press themselves low, huddled in a crescent, arms tight over infants, backs to the gale. Lightning spits white veins across the sky. In a world without stone edges, fire is still accident never harnessed, yet its glow terrifies and guides. The band waits, eyes wide, until the thunder rolls further east, leaving behind a silence broken only by dripping leaves and the cry of scavengers. They smell it first meet in the air, hot iron and rot. Then they see the zebra collapsed near the riverbank, half claimed by lions. Flies thicken the wound. Without sharp flakes, the band cannot carve. They must gnaw, tear with teeth, and crush with bone fragments scavenged from earlier meals. One male lifts a femur, raises it high, and smashes it against rock. Not flaked, but fractured, it spills marrow, pale and rich, onto eager tongues. This is their feast, not in slices, but in shreds, scraps, and suction. The band howls with triumph. Marrow is life. Marrow is brain food. Marrow is tomorrow held between molars. But the lions are not far. Eyes glint in the grass, tails flick. The predators circle back, snarls low. A young female screams, slapping mud on her chest, and the band erupts in a frenzy, stamping, hooting, flinging bones still slick with zebra fat. The lions hesitate, weighing numbers against hunger. In that hesitation, survival is carved not by tools but by courage multiplied across a dozen throats. The lions retreat, slow, insulted. The band eats faster, tearing sinew, swallowing hair, gorging on what no claw has yet claimed. As dusk paints the plain in blood-red light, another shadow rises, rival hominins. A neighboring troop of Homo habilis emerges taller, heavier, and armed with what this band lacks: stone flakes, sharp as teeth, hand axes that glint like frozen lightning. They approach the carcass with silent authority. The Australopithecus frees marrow dripping from lips. Here lies the fracture of fate, one lineage with stone, one without. The habilis cut effortlessly, stripping flesh in clean ribbons, their tools singing against bone. They do not chase the Australopithecus, but their presence alone is verdict. This is what it means to be edged. Retreat is the only weapon left. The band gathers infants' clutched stomachs half-filled. They slink into the twilight, carrying no stone, no blade, only memory of what was almost theirs. The habilis remain feasting in precise silence, the crack of flint on bone echoing like thunder. Night falls. The Australopithecus crawl into the hollow of a fallen tree. They curl in clusters, bodies pressed for warmth, marrow still sticky on their chins. No fire guards them. Only vigilance, the shifting of bodies, the unblinking watch of sentinels who stare into the dark, where hyenas laugh. They survive not with invention, but with numbers, with patience, with the raw will to see another dawn. Dawn comes soft but merciless. The band rises stiff from the hollow tree. Skin, damp, eyes red from watching shadows all night. Hunger gnaws again, for marrow is fleeting, and without stone their bellies demand constant labor. They wander toward the rising sun across grasses still jeweled with dew, each step a negotiation with exhaustion. Infants cling, juveniles stumble. Adults scan for both danger and promise. On the horizon, the land itself becomes an enemy, high ridges, with no cover, vast plains where every movement betrays them to predators. And yet, they keep moving. To stop is to die. Mid-morning vultures circle not over a carcass this time, but above the band itself. Weakness invites prophecy to scavengers. Every living thing is only future meat. But the band refuses the script. They push into the shadow of a river gorge, where fig trees cling to stone. With no blades to strip bark or slice fruit, they climb instead, hands and toes gripping raw bark. They shake branches until figs rain down, bruised and split. Infants chew pulp smeared by mothers' fingers, sweetness seeping like mercy into their mouths. In this moment, the gorge becomes cathedral figs, the offering survival, the prayer. The peace does not last. A leopard descends from the cliff, spotted ghost muscles, taut as coiled rope. Panic tears through the band, screams, hoots, arms flailing. The leopard lunges, snatching a juvenile by the leg. Chaos erupts. Without stone blades they cannot cut, cannot pierce. But desperation is invention's twin. The matriarch seizes a fallen branch, thick and heavy, and hammers the predator's skull again and again. Others join, wielding fists, sticks, teeth, voices, until the leopard recoils, spitting blood and rage vanishing into the gorge's shadow. The juvenile limps, wounded but alive. The band presses close, licking blood from the legs, smearing mud as salve. Here, survival is not edge, but unity. By twilight, they gather on a rise above the plain. The storm of yesterday has left pools in the earth, small mirrors of the sky. They crouch and drink faces, softening. The elders share roots dug bare-handed, chewed, and spat into the mouths of infants who cannot yet tear. One by one, laughter bubbles raw, breathless but true. In the absence of stone, they find tool in each other, strength in shared burden, healing in touch, protection in numbers. The day ends not with conquest, not with invention, but with survival itself. They do not carve meat, do not spark flame, do not shape stone. Yet they endure. Against lions, against storms, against hunger, against rival tribes, they remain. The sky bleeds red as the sun sinks, and beneath its dying fire, the band presses together a single heartbeat spread across many chests. And so the legend whispers, what if our ancestors never struck stone against stone? Then life itself would be their tool in survival, not a matter of edges, but of endurance, patience, and the unyielding will to walk one more step into tomorrow.